6 mysterious guests assemble at a manor for a night they'll never forget. Based on the 1985 movie and inspired by the classic board game, Clue is the ultimate whodunit, and it's playing right now at Bass Concert Hall. Here to tell us more about the production are John Tracy Egan and Jonathan Spivey. We've got Professor Plum and Colonel Mustard in the house. We're very excited. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Lovely to have you both here. Jonathan, we're going to start with you. Clue, of course, a game. I think so many of us have played it. Also a cult classic movie that I admitted to you I have not seen. I'm embarrassed by that. But you say that there are a lot of people actually who come to the production, have never seen it before. So can you give me an idea of what it is?
Yeah, it's the 75th anniversary of the board game.
Whoa.
So, and the movie's from 1985. If you remember the rooms from the game, the library, the study,
the conservatory.
Yeah. You're going to see all of those rooms on stage in front of you, but it's a murder mystery farce. I like to say it's a comedy disguised as a murder mystery, but leaning heavily into the comedy. So if you don't know the movie, you really don't need that basis to understand what you're seeing. If you do know the movie and you know those iconic lines, you are going to get the satisfaction of hearing those lines and recognizing those moments that you love from the film. I like to say that we're not doing impressions of any of the performances in the movie, but we're definitely paying homage to those performances that people know and love so much.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so there is a little bit of crossover.
Oh, yeah.
Between, maybe the movie that you've seen and what you might see on stage. But of course, done with a fresh new set of faces. Let's talk about getting comedy timed right, John. When you and I were talking, you were saying there's sometimes even a marriage joke that depending on where you are in the country,
That's right.
gets a different laugh.
Exactly. It depends how it is. Yeah. But I think it's really rapid fire. It's 90 minutes. There's no intermission. So the comedy is rapid fire. And I think the show plays so well, not the faster we go, but the tighter we go. Do you know what I mean? Everyone speaks and they keep the rhythm of the comedy going. Because comedy is very delicate when it comes to that. It's all about rhythm. It's almost like music and mathematics at the same time.
Yeah, the movie is so deadpan. The humor is very underplayed. And one of the big differences that I love between the film and our stage version is our stage version is much broader. It's much more slapstick. There are pratfalls, there is door slamming, and even though it is a murder mystery and there are bodies piling up in front of you on stage, it is not a scary experience.
Okay, good to know.
This is not one of those Netflix murder series. They're murders, but they're funny and they're broad, and I like to describe it affectionately as a mental vacation. It's really 90 minutes of just checking out and having a good time.
You know what? I could sign up for that. That sounds good to me. All right. John, one more thing I do want to ask, though, about the comedy, since you talked about how tight everything is and how, really, everybody's hitting their mark.
Right.
So much trust actually has to go into your cast members, right?
Completely. And we're actually there for each other all the time. Sometimes, look, we've been on the tour for a year. So sometimes a line is dropped. Sometimes something goes a little wonky on the set, but we're all there to sort of cover for each other. And because I think I was saying before, it's almost like a big piece of music. You know the notes, you know the lyrics, you know what I mean, but you know the comedy, so you know where we need to sort of plug in. And again, with the violence, it's cartoon violence. We were saying, so it's not not super scary. So it's sort of that Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner violence.
It does at moments feel like you're watching a cartoon with real people doing it for you in front of you.
I can't wait. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, Jonathan, you are Professor Plum.
That's right.
Can you tell me a little bit about your character?
Yeah, the professor is a doctor of psychiatry who has had his medical license taken away. That's one of the things I love about. There's 6 suspects trapped in this house. Each of them has a secret that the audience doesn't know why they're there at the beginning. And that's part of the fun of the mystery element of the show, is you're figuring out what each of their little secret is. So the doctor is no longer a professor, but he now works for the government. And like every other suspect there, he's being blackmailed. He's paying blackmail to someone, but he doesn't really know why. And all of the 6 suspects at the mansion are also playing blackmail. That's kind of the setup of the show.
Oh, okay. And Colonel Mustard.
What's
he like?
He thinks he has the great idea for every problem that's happening throughout the evening. He's often wrong, but he's determined to try to save the day as much as he can. But unfortunately, he doesn't hear everything correctly all the time, or he doesn't understand the situation. So but he's pitching away his ideas anyway.
I was going to say, an attempted would-be leader.
Attempted would-be leader.
All right, what about maybe your favorite moment from the show, John? Even if it's not one that you're in, because sometimes I know watching from the wings or whatever it is, there's a moment where you're just like, oh, that gets me every time.
Right, there are a lot of reveals that are a lot of fun and a lot of great lines, which taking out of context, I don't, they work so well, but we have a piece of choreography that's done with music, which is kind of fun because it's sort of a big surprise to the audience when it happens. It's just something that the play turns into something else for, a good 10 minutes.
Oh, interesting. You guys are doing such a good job of giving me enough to make me go, but really hard to sit on this number of secrets. So kudos to both of you.
Good.
And Jonathan, if you wouldn't mind talking about your favorite moment as well.
I love, this is not a flashy moment, but there is a scene in the first 10 minutes that's a dinner table scene, and it's the first time you get a good long look at each of our characters. We're lined up kind of like ducks in a row, eating soup together. And one of the reasons why I love that scene is you can't, kind of like John and I are right now, you can't 100% see everything that your co-stars are doing. And I love hearing that audience reaction, knowing something fantastic is going on over there, but I don't 100% know what it is every night. I love that element of mystery.
That's really cool. And I think for those of us of the audience, like at least with Clue, I'm like, Colonel Mustard, he wears yellow. Professor Plum, he's in purple.
That's
like
right.
It's a little bit easier for our brains to keep everybody straight, because let me tell you, I had to watch Hamilton a couple times. Because I was like, that face looks familiar. Hang on a minute. Yeah, so I like that you guys are such characterized characters. Does that make sense?
Yeah, these performances are iconic. Like I said, none of us I could never be Christopher Lloyd. There's no other Christopher Lloyd. So part of the challenge of playing a role like this is to, like I said, pay homage to those performances that people know, while still bringing our own individuality to what we're doing.
I think it sounds like a lot of fun. And just real quickly, Jonathan, who would be a good audience? Since we're using the word murder, but we're saying cartoon murder? I don't know if we want to go all the way to Little Bitty ones.
It truly isn't scary. My niece, who was 10 when she saw the show, loved it. I'm going to leave it up to parents' discretion. There's some humor that's slightly suggestive, but none of it too blue or overt. I think it's a great date night show. I think it's a great girls' night out. I also think it's a great show if you've got a family member who thinks that they don't like theater. This show is broad and funny and will convince that family member that maybe they do like theater.
Okay, I will drag my
That's
husband.
a great answer.
Yeah, that is a good answer. Gentlemen, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Break a leg.
Thank you, Rosie.
All right. Broadway and Austin.com or TexasPerformingArts.org are the places you can go to snag tickets for Clue, running right now through January 19th.